Hello, everybody, and welcome back to
Boo, you whore.
a show about Dragula, horror, glamour, and everything in between. My name is Benji, and I've been personally victimized by Regina George.
My name is Mac, and if we don't review this episode, we could be put on a hook, or worse, expelled.
My name is Mikey, and I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu right now.
My name is Morgan, and I'm not repeating my intro line.
And tonight we are reviewing season 6, episode 9 of.
Dragula.
All right, make sure to subscribe, like, and give us a comment. Join in on the conversation. And also follow us on our social medias. We are going to get right into it here. All the girls come back, or all the ghouls come back in and talk about who's going to return. Everyone's pretty up in arms because Pi has been doing well overall, but um, who is she? Who is she? Oh, with Auntie. Um, but Auntie had also been doing well, but this is her second time on the bottom. So,
I
and then
think
you cuts to Auntie maniacally laughing and returning into the workroom, which got everybody know Pi's dead.
Yeah,
I think it was definitely a, a difficult choice between the two of them if you're only going off of the track record. But obviously, there's so much more that goes into the decision that we don't see. But I think at this point, it was kind of, I think in a in to put it in Survivor terms, like Pi got idled out. Like
hmm
if Yuri hadn't been safe, Pi would have been fine and would have made it to the top four.
I think it
Um,
Yeah.
also comes down to like this is one of those exterminations that you actually have to perform,
Mm-hmm.
and if you are the one that does the worst, then you go home. So
Yeah.
I also feel like for Pi, a lot of, like, from what we saw from Piles, a lot of, like, alliance kind of storylines, but those alliance never really meant anything. And
yeah,
every time there was a strategic decision, it would always be the safe option.
hmm
Most of the when it came to voting and stuff. So like there wasn't, like, obviously they're what they've brought to the show and all that, but on a producer like hat kind of reasoning, it doesn't really make sense to have Pi here.
And
So
I think Pi, like, yeah, they hadn't been in the bottom yet, but they only had one challenge win, and like it was like no offense to Pi a little bit, but like it was the boozicle. Like,
and it should have gone to Yuri anyway, so I
well,
guess
yeah. If we were judging completely individually, I wouldn't have chosen Pi, but it's whatever.
I
Yuri could have
agree.
3 or 4 wins in my mind,
In
and
but
your
even if
mind,
and I'm gonna be so real, I said this on the episode, but even if it was just within that team that won, I still think it should have gone to Jaharia.
Yeah,
well,
But anyway,
um,
the judges, I'm not signing that check, so
not
it doesn't
real.
matter what I think.
To where we
definitely
get
not.
to where we get an illustrious quote of "You couldn't hear pie." That's a first
Literally.
from Asia
mhm.
Consent.
Woo.
Mhm. But
Miss Asia Consent, worst alliance member ever.
literally first outed her alliance, then secretly got back in with the alliance, did nothing,
Literally.
and then let her. Well, she didn't let her alliance member go home. Her alliance member did that themselves. So,
That's
And I'll
uh,
say it, Pi would have done the same thing, like if it was, I mean, when it was Asia in the bottom in the D&D challenge, like,
Pi
hmm
strategically shot themselves in the foot, the knee, and the neck with getting rid of her alliance with Auntie, because then Auntie went into the pie spiral. That was fun to watch. Um, but then nothing else really conspired too much after that.
Yeah.
I love when they give a bitch a talking too much montage edit in the fucking confessionals. I live.
Oh,
They
God.
literally had her spiral.
I love it, honestly.
But speaking of Auntie, she starts to go in on like feeling like she hasn't connected with Yuri and thought Yuri hated her. They have like a cute little bonding moment, but I I think it's Asia or maybe Gray that kind of points out like you've had the smallest amount of time with her. You think she hates you, but at the same time you have the same amount of time with everybody else
Mhm.
and gotten those as well. So what's the team,
Mhm. It gave like we needed some filler for the
Yeah,
episode.
like
So y'all go talk to each other now.
they said, find fucking something to talk about it, make it meaningful, and it'll make the edit. Like,
Literally.
Real. But speaking of edits, the challenge is issued, and it's the first ever Dead by Daylight challenge. And the fact that they said first ever, I hope this shit comes back.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
I need that to be. I want that to be like a yearly thing. Hopefully, the devs like put trust into the Dragula world to make.
I hope this means we're getting Boulay Brothers in Fortnite next.
Bye.
Oh,
Please,
please,
please.
please,
Please let me run around
please.
as Drakmorda with a fucking gun.
I'm call playing a swan. So
Okay.
We're
I'm playing as the guy, the muscle guy.
Israel.
He's like the
the
Meowscles
muscle
type
guy.
character. Like a
Fucking
Oh,
Israel.
okay, Israel.
yes.
Listen,
Real.
the I can hear the Time to Die single playing as everyone's running
Time
around.
to and you
Bye.
know what? I even streamed the All Hallows Eve song on Spotify. Like I'm a real
That's
Boule
cute.
Brothers fan.
Bye.
And
I'm gonna play as Mary Cherry in the spiky costume.
um
Which one?
the I just want Loris in her ghost costume doing the vegan monologue in an emo.
Oh, amazing with voice lines.
Yeah, with the whole bunny costume. Um, but the ghouls have to create a look based on the expansion pack, cryptids and urban myths, and create a signature kill move.
Exactly.
First of
So,
all, I love like remove the Dead by Daylight from it. I love this theme for a Dragula challenge, like cryptids and monsters. Love, 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 love.
same.
It's
It's
a
so good. Like to take something from actual lore and be like, okay, what you gonna do?
This is honestly a really fun theme. Like, I think this is a great idea, like Dead by Daylight. Like when I'm playing Dead by Daylight, I love like the Mori that they have, like the kill shot, if you will, and it's cool that they have to come up with their own kind of what they would have their outfit be and how that kid would go. I think that's really creative.
Agreed. Um, ooh, which leads us to the fright feat. Everyone has to grab a Dead by Daylight cartridge. Remember, taking tarantulas blindfolded.
Like, that's rude.
That it's spooky, but like I don't know.
The poor babies.
I think it'd be kind of fun. See, I would just look at where they put it and it's like, oh, it's at the very back. Okay, I'm gonna lift my hand at the very my hand will be touching the glass and it's gonna be sliding along till it hits the back and then I'm just gonna like, oh, hello.
You're gonna disappear.
And then I disappear into the fog.
Literally.
Exactly.
So
And snatch
my
it.
my thing about something like this is like as much as it is like icky, like they're never
This.
gonna put something in there that's gonna kill me.
That.
Real. And then,
I
ooh, go right ahead. Back.
That is literally how I think about every single time like a spooky animal, literally a dog with like a ghost costume. Spooky animal. No, like a terrifying animal that people would have a fear of. It's like legally you cannot die. Otherwise the Boulets will be giving $100,000 sponsored by us all the way to the bloody hospital in
Mm,
LA.
Fucking like, and honestly, it was tarantulas, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Tarantulas, like those things are not sturdy. Like if you can break them by blowing on them too hard.
Hmm.
So like I could do that easy. And
Cindy, this is skin and
honestly,
bone.
like I don't love bugs, but I don't mind tarantulas.
I
See,
don't like bugs.
I would have to fight so many inner demons. I'd be like Misty from Pokemon. I won't play with that shit.
That's
Like
like why I'm not gonna
I'm
sign up
still
for
gonna
the
be like
show.
skittish reaching in there, but like at the end of the day, like once I'm all the way in, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what, girl, I got this. This
Like
is
I'm
fine.
not
Right.
reaching my hand in there unless I can see in there. I'm not
Well,
gonna just reach my hand in there.
but that's the
Sorry.
whole challenge is that they can't.
Okay, well then I'm not doing it.
I think it'd be really fun if
Next
someone like
person.
pretended that their hand was like the hand from like the Addams family, like had a life
Oh, like
of its own,
Fang.
like crawling, like kind of acting, like just playing it up a little bit, just being a little goofy, but like, oh, I'm so scared, and then in here you're like, didn't, kind of thing. I don't know. It'd be fun.
If they were unsuccessful, they would be yoinked from the competition on site.
And
Exactly.
I'd be yoinked.
Uh,
Remember when that was the stakes of the fright feed?
not literally, and it never
I don't want
happened.
to. I
And it never happened.
I need that to actually happen one time, or like at the start of the season, like the initiation. I want someone to actually give up. I think that would be so funny.
That'd be a
Bring
waste of a
someone
plane
in.
ticket.
I don't care. Like have like 12 queens. It's like, oh, it's a large cast, and then someone gets cut before the first episode like is halfway through. Like that would be so funny.
Hmm.
That's
Um,
camp.
speaking
But
of
when we get day
funny,
one big evictions on Big Brother, it's a problem.
It,
God. At least they got to eat. I don't know. But Andy starts freaking out everybody, talking about the lightning blue ones being the most quickest and most poisonous. Girl, if you don't sit down with all the litigation that they would be stuck in if they did that
oh,
shit.
and he was nasty for that, and I clocked that almost immediately. Like
No,
trying to
literally.
scare her, all the others. I'm
Like
like,
all
girl.
tarantulas are super dangerous, so don't touch them. They can shoot their spikes at you like porcupine.
Oh,
They can do that.
But like
they can't
she
do
was
that.
going so over the top with it, acting
Go
like they're about to
ham.
get murdered.
They said it was about to be
This
on
bug
fire.
will kill you. And it
I heard
wants
that
to.
if you are close to a tarantula, a tarantula, then you get a phone call in 7 days saying you're gonna die. So
Okay.
Bye.
be scared. I'd be
Nothing
scared.
happens. You just get the phone call.
Yeah,
You like it, you
exactly.
should put a ring on the tarantula. They all pass. No surprise there. The only other thing I wanted to highlight before going into the floor show, is that Yuri gets to talk about her, and if I don't say this right, strike me down, Maori culture,
Hmm.
because she does disclose that she's white passing, but she is half Maori and then half, I don't know what the other half is.
Pakiha is what it's like New Zealand European. It's just the white people.
Oh, okay.
Pakiha.
And how she wanted to learn more about her culture.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mac wants to disclose any of the Kiwi culture for us, just to give us a little taste.
Okay. Oh my God. It's so fascinating that this is like on a global show about like multiculture. But pretty much like Yuri describes himself as like a quote unquote half caste, which is when you are like half Māori, half Pakeha. Um, I feel like there's just a lot of moldy traditions that get kind of whitewashed or isn't really taught in schools. So you know some things, but not a lot. And I feel like there's so many people out there who feel like they don't fully belong and know a lot of their like cultural roots. Um, and I feel like that could speak to a lot of different kind of like indigenous or First Nations people from like Canada or
I
America or
I was just about
Australia.
to say, like, the one of the most recent episodes of Canada's Drag Race, they have a really beautiful segment about indigeneity, and like
Yes.
it I think it's really amazing that not only are these shows bringing together queer people in a celebration of being queer, but they're also bringing diverse people together to celebrate what makes them all unique. And it's really cool, especially something like Dragula, who where we're always getting international artists and like really showcasing what America and the world have to offer. Bleh.
All right, so we're gonna go straight into the floor show. I will say I love the prosthetics on the Blaze this week.
Hmm.
Truly, so, y'all always got some sort of issue. I'm trying to give the mothers
I
mothering credit.
Who
I
had an issue?
I
I don't
like their
know.
out I like their overall like outfit, but like the prosthetics is like really, really fun.
No, that's real. But speaking of prosthetics, first up to the stage, we have anti-heroin. Damn, the silence
I
speaks.
well, we're processing, you know, we're
We
gathering
are.
our thoughts.
Oh,
I
someone also pointed this out really quick. Sorry, but the title or the level goes with each of their first wins.
Hmm.
work.
Oh, work. I I like parts of this and I don't like parts of this. Um, I think the wings and the like antler kind of headpiece helmet that they got going on, I think that's really interesting and very detailed, and it's really cool, like craftsmanship, I will say. The I like what they were trying to do with the heels. I just have an issue that they were giving I'm trying to remember what their like monster cryptid
I think
was.
it was like the oh god, it was something with a W. Like it was
No,
some sort of bird that was to
yeah.
indigenous people that live in the area of Illinois.
Yes. Okay, I could be completely wrong, but I don't remember birds having scales. And maybe because like on the pant and the heels and the tail kind of gives like scaly. And
Hmm.
maybe this is a cryptid that has it's like a half and half situation.
It wasn't even a P. It was a PSR.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. This is the first time I am learning about that. I personally love cryptids, but this is one that is not popular enough for me to know about.
Mhm.
Um, but I think there's some really cool things about it. I just I'm not like wowed. Like I'm not like, ooh, this is a spooky creature. I'm like,
Hmm.
this is some props you've put on with like a bodysuit.
That's
You know,
fair.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. It
I,
sounds rude to tear it down to simplify it just to that, but that's literally what this is.
I think
Like,
for me, it just doesn't look like a Dead by Daylight killer. Like
yeah.
it's not screaming out to me like, oh, this is a killer from Dead by Daylight. It's like this is a
Hmm.
costume I'm wearing.
Real. I also agree. This was more on the costumey, like slightly cartoony end for me, just with the way it was showing out. Weapon of choice, great, but like the rest of it from the prosthetics in the back of the wings to the horns just seems a lot a lot less real compared
Yeah.
to some of the other elements she has. Like it's not coming together completely to where it can be a little darker in that sense. I love the creativity of it. I don't like where the stop where the is that a pant where it stops at her ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if there was like more detail of scaling or patchwork or some sort of texture to kind of differentiate everything that she has up top, I think we could have had something, or it could have been better improved upon.
And
So, mm,
like I feel like this does read as like a video game character, but not like a Dead by Daylight character, if
Hmm.
that makes sense. Like the yellow gives it this bright and even a little bit cartooniness that like just doesn't really fully mesh with everything else that I think she's trying to serve. I don't hate
Yeah.
it, but meh.
It's a little bit of camp where this challenge is not really looking for camp. This is killer, not goofy.
real. Um, but yeah, overall, I'll give this. I give this a light woo.
I will give this a boo.
I don't totally hate this. I'm just like not completely sold on the Dead by Daylight of it all. And for that reasoning, it's going to be a very, very light boo.
I
Real.
agree. Boo.
Real. All right, speaking of agreeance, next onto the stage, we have Asia Consent.
Ooh.
Now, I love this look. However, this also caused a slight conversation on Reddit.
Uh,
Um, not for what we had to talk about last time, but just due to the sensitivity of using because she ended up being a winter wendigo,
yes.
which is also from indigenous culture here in the States. It did open up a dialogue in regard to the sensitivity of doing so when it comes to just like horror creatures in general.
Hmm.
Um, but to talk on the look first, I love this look. It's very Asia, it's very sexy, very slutty, but very horrific, and it sucks you in down to the performance. The bitch had a weapon that comes out and shashings you, like lovely, love that. Um, but as far as like the conversation, I know it's a how do I put this? It's a very interesting conversation to have, and the one that I definitely think is necessary, especially if this is a very taboo thing to do when it comes to taking said culture and then just using it to make your creatures, unless you have some sort of connection. I tried to do a little reading on it just to see what the context and how everything is felt. It's kind of a 50-50. It's kind of on the fence. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think in conversations like these, it's really important to center the people who are affected by it, and I'm not one of those people, so I don't like I would feel bad speaking on it and misspeaking because while I do think this is a beautiful outfit, I think I can see the where something like that would be an issue, and especially if you're going to monetize this in a video game, you know what I mean?
mhm.
Um, I it, like removing the conversation um about kind of like is this kind of okay to do? Uh, just talking about the look itself. Um, I love most of this. Um, for me, I think I think the for me personally the pasties and kind of like the panty area um doesn't fully connect to me personally.
Mhm.
Um, but I love like I think their weapon was one of my favorites. I think the pants and like the actual like kind of skull and antlers were really cool. The glowing heart was really cool. I'm not personally loving the kind of like s- the exposed skin for me. Um, but I do like the bones and stuff. I think from what I understand of Wendigos, it's a lot of what I personally know about Wendigos is from the video game Until Dawn. Um, so I don't have like a very great knowledge of that. I don't know the more cultural kind of understanding of what the legend of or the cryptid of the Wendigo is.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I'm a little uncultured in that department, which will be a running theme, I think, for most of us with all of these. Unfortunately, but this look is great. I'm not a huge fan of the exposed skin.
Right. I really enjoyed this actually. Just like talking only about the challenge, obviously,
Mhm.
it gave very much the Huntress from Dead by Daylight. Like
Down.
Yes.
immediately, I was like, "Oh, this is a Dead by Daylight character. This is like the person that it's would be a skin of."
Yeah.
Immediately,
I actually when watching this was like, oh, this would be a great Huntress
yeah,
character and like maybe you could because like the Huntress is known for throwing axes, so maybe
right,
you could throw kind of like part of the weapon that she would use to like
right.
oh
And how did it work? Like, I don't know if they specifically said if it's like a brand new character or is it like a skin that's going to
I
be.
it
think
seems
they
like
just had skin.
it's
Yeah,
gonna be an outfit. Like there's gonna be a collection of cryptids, and this the
right.
winning
It's
one
like what
will
they
be
did
one
for
of the
Crypt TV.
yes.
Mhm.
And I love that you mentioned Crypt TV.
Yeah.
Shout out the Look
Shout out Crypt
See.
TV.
Shout
Yeah.
out the Birch Tree
Hmm.
Woman thing. Love her.
And then the other one.
And then the other
Um,
one.
but yeah, like I got it immediately. For me, this was like the one that clearly stood out as like, okay, this is a Dead by Daylight character for sure.
Yeah.
And I did think it was well executed. And yeah,
I think for me, I can agree with Mac about like the middle section feeling a little incomplete compared to the rest of it. But I think for me personally, the rest of it does enough to carry the whole look. I think these long ass fur boots are it. Like I'm so into them. The shape it gives her hips, and the like contrasted with these like big fur shoulders and the arms, it's really cool. And so I think having a minimal middle here, I'm not necessarily all that mad at. And then put the glowing heart there just to emphasize that this middle section is your weak point. I think it's good characteristic storytelling. Like you understand how this character fights, how to beat them, and that's like two really important things for game characters. I think she hit the nail on the head. I think she knew exactly what the challenge was asking for, and she got it.
Real. So I'm gonna give this a woo.
woo!
Woo!
Ooh.
All right, and then real quick, because I forgot to shout out the guest judges. Our mother, winner of season 5, Miss Neo Hulu X.
Like,
Who
Period.
looked amazing, by the way.
Stunning.
Like, was
that was
that ever in
impressive.
question?
Literally.
Oh, never. And then the gaming director of Dead by Daylight himself, Matthew Cote. So very fine eye on what's going on here. But speaking of eyes, next onto the stage we have Yuri. Now, when I tell you
Ooh.
that this was my favorite look of the night, personally.
Oh.
Girl.
I I have to be real and honest, and
Hmm.
I get that as a New Zealander, I have a bias, but I
Yeah.
actually agree
Yeah.
that this is my favorite concept. I thought there is some things that look a little cheap.
Hmm.
Uh, to
Yeah.
be the fabric, the kind of velvety fabric I'm not loving. I wish there was a little bit more going on. I
Yeah.
think for me, those fuck ass claws.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to hear any like memes about little like the hot Cheeto girl with like the long ass nails. Those put gray matter to like deceased.
It's giving
Those are fucking nails.
frosty spoons.
Frosty spoons. I this gives me like the hag killer like kind of reskin as like a
Really.
more watery outfit, which we don't really see in Dead by Daylight, if at all. So I think it's really creative and interesting. Her mug is slay. Some people try to clock her for making it similar to like the dungeon Dungeons and Dragons makeup, but like
Hmm.
it's a little bit different. It's really cunty.
Wait, why am I wearing something different?
Oh my God, we changed.
I
Oh,
wonder why.
That's crazy. Anyway, so I think for me, this look like it's cool. I'm into the idea of it. I like the aquaticness of it all. Um, the wig needs to be anything else, anything that's not this. Um, and like I don't know. I feel like especially when you compare it to what what Asia wore and like what Gray did, like it's just not enough for me. I think it looks cool. I don't know if I love the choice of this like crushed velvet fabric. Because it doesn't really read aquatic. I think she wanted it to read as like shimmery scales, but it doesn't. And it kind of cheapens the whole look for me. I don't really love the look of that like crushed velvet. I don't know. I wanted to like it because it's not horrible.
Real.
But and I also like again with the long spindly fingers. I think at least she integrated them into the lore of this creature and made them her weapon. But I'm just I'm kind of over the long spindly black nothing fingers.
yeah, very that.
I
This is a chop.
disagree.
This is a chop, and like so severely a chop. Like Dead by Daylight, this killer's not going to be on there. You're not going to be running around in a ball gown, like and a mermaid
And,
cut.
and
Like,
that was the thing for me too, is like this doesn't look like the kind of thing that would be able to move well in the scenario that they're going to be in for this game. Like
mhm.
to me it feels like Yuri, and I don't know this to be true or not, but it feels like Yuri didn't really know what Dead by Daylight was. And she just chose to do this beautiful cryptid monster without really applying that to Dead by Daylight at all.
Hmm. That's how I looked at this challenge, like for every single person, is like as somebody who's played Dead by Daylight for a long time and knows the type of characters they're looking for and like what skins already exist and whatnot. Like, will this fit into the game? Period. And this was one of the two that was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
this will not fit into the game. This would never be a skin in the game ever. So,
Yeah,
what can I do?
like it stinks because obviously we love Yuri, but at this point in the competition, like she needed to be bringing absolutely everything 125% every time, and this is not that
Yeah.
for
Is
me.
the top...
For me,
Okay, well,
And me,
I'll let the haters hate because now it's my turn. Resident Kiwi over here. Okay, let's talk about it.
implicit bias.
mm-hmm.
Doesn't at all in no way, shape, or form.
Right,
Um,
But you
right.
had to mention that you're the Kiwi. Okay. All right,
Right, but in your mind, Yuri has won two challenges already.
three actually, and this would might be the fourth. Um,
Oh, right. Okay.
anyway, so
Implicit bias, my ass.
just to talk about it, I personally really like this idea. For me, um, we have not really got much of a aquatic or marine type killer, so this would be very different to a lot of what Dead by Daylight has to offer. Um, a good example of that would be like Asia Consents, Wendigo look. There's already outfits very similar to that in the game, which means it would be easy for the devs to like create that, but it's not as original, I would say. Whereas this, I could see this as a like the killer, the hag. Obviously, there is difficulty with like the gown part, so that would have to be adjusted too.
Mhm.
But I think this would be an amazing the hag skin. It already kind of has that kind of like hunched thing, long like claw nails, which is what the hag uses. People want to shit on the hair. She's in the water. Like, and I don't want my creepy creature having like a little slick back. Like she's not like Katie or Ariana from Vanderpump Rules. No,
I can't.
And like
she's giving Lady of the Lake.
I can understand that, but like you can at least try and make it look good instead of dunking a shake and go wig in water, whipping it out once, and then throwing it on your head. Like
She's here for realism. Actually. That's
Right.
the see
right with those fingers,
this look
realism.
literally is horror, filth, and glamour, the three main tenets of drag. You've got filth
Right.
the hair, glamour the mug, and horror the claws, and like even like the gown gives like glamour. So it's like a perfect embodiment of
Oh.
all
Oh, it's
three.
giving
Now, I'm a
glamour
Yuri
now.
defender, however,
So now it's giving glamour.
Uh,
um, I will say I enjoyed Yuri's performance. I enjoyed,
yes.
I do think this is the best she's put out in the competition, period. I do agree with Mikey on the mobility because a bitch didn't think about that. Because unless they're gonna give her nurse mechanics, like where she
Yeah.
like floats and shit, and even then, due to the lore, it wouldn't make sense. It's kind of hard to see how she would move.
I'm sure the
Mm.
nurse ran a bath one time
Bye.
or something. We can make it work.
I could see this more as like a Demogorgon skin than a hag skin, honestly.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
Like I would reinvent some things, obviously, and edit some things, but the like hunched with like a huge fin for a Demogorgon would be super cute.
Real.
like make it
Like the
aquatic-y.
Demigorgon becomes an anglerfish.
And like has a
Like
bunch of
very
like
that.
seaweed hanging off of it or something.
Um,
I don't know the
I
game. I'm just gonna. I'm taking a minute.
Right. Because she's scared.
Well, girl,
the
I'm not gonna speak on it if I don't know what's going on.
She's scared of the game. She's terrified.
No, the game's just bad. Ooh.
oh don't you're so this is Mikey Ruby's last episode. I'm unfortunately we
Bye.
have to announce that
Wait,
Bye.
too.
why?
For
Why are we
me.
canceling? Why are we canceling
For
someone
me.
for speaking truth?
Right.
Morgan, stop because you literally loved Dead by Daylight.
Love is
And
crazy
two things
terminology, and
two
also
things
coming
can be
from
true at
somebody
the
who
same
doesn't
time.
even
And
play
That's
they
it
all I'm saying.
can.
really.
They
You can
absolutely
You
you
don't
can.
even
can
be
love
playing
the
it anymore.
game and
Did
it
you get
also
your
be
TV
bad.
remote back? Right.
There are bad games that I love.
Damn, y'all
I
are.
like playing it sometimes. It just has to be in like I haven't played it in months, well
Well, we should
months.
fix that.
But I
I
don't want to play it because it's so awful. It's
with
so annoying to play now.
we
It
here
So
at
can be. There's
Boo
a lot of
Horror,
God,
I
there's a lot
rarely
of
ever get a good game anymore. Like I could log in right now and get like tunneled out of the game
When's
immediately.
the Dragula Stardew Valley crossover? That's what I want to know.
when's
Is
the
there
Fortnite
I would
collab?
love
Fortnite?
that.
Give
Fortnite!
Literally.
give us give us a give us a Fortnite X Dragula
Hell, right
chapter.
now I would wait
Give
for
us
an
a whole
I'll start
chapter,
with an Among Us one.
not
Let's start
season.
with somewhere
Even
in
just a
reach.
Boulay Brothers moment. Like, let me run around as the Boulay Brothers.
Two styles, one's drag, one swan.
Exactly.
Or
Real.
can we at least get Dragula on Brand Steel? Like, who's working on that?
Please.
Oh,
Wait, can we get it?
that's
Wait.
low
Can we get it
hanging
on
fruit.
GitHub? I really need it on GitHub
Not
Like, I
for
need
all the
them to
GitHub.
sponsor
simulators. I
Brand
really
Steel so
do.
Brand Steel can like work some things out
No,
over there.
I
really.
need them to add more because we're not talking about Dragula
Girl,
anymore.
I've like emailed Brant Steele personally so many times over the years, being like, I will, like, I have a link, babe, to like some cast pics if y'all need them. And I don't know what's going
That's
on with them.
that's crazy. I will agree with y'all that the fabric is a little cheap looking.
Yeah,
The budget wasn't fully there, which is a
clearly.
that's so satin, but I think for what they were trying to do and probably not having the best budget, you take what you can do.
I just hear
I
so many
wish there was some
excuses.
like I wish there was some like actual scales on this. Um and that could like continue onto the like the neck and like part of the face that would look really cool. Um but I see the vision. I think the performance was one of the two best personally, very creative with the death kill, the I think it's the Memento Mori, I believe.
Just the Mori.
Just a Mori.
Oh, who's Mori?
Memento Mori is the like the thing you put down the iridium or whatever. That's not what it is, but
Oh,
Right,
I thought it was
right.
something else, but
yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
That's like
for
when you want to
me,
kill everybody in the match and you want to be like a sweaty killer. You put down, oh, I can kill everyone.
I mean it's
oh
all near the
yes.
I mean when we just for lore, once he gets around to the 13th, when things start resetting, then they come out in spades. But
Hmm.
but for me personally, I am giving this look a woo.
I'm also giving this look a woo.
Um, for me, I'm so sorry that I'm not sorry, Yuri. It's a boo.
This is a boo down.
Leg down. It's a boo.
Like stop, just stop, y'all.
I have to
I'm
be
No.
so
honest
sick.
and real with
I'm sick of
myself.
the favoritism being shown on this panel.
Girl,
Like,
bye.
like we can love her and want more from her at the same time.
And I've
Our
asked him.
viewer looks to us for honesty and clarity.
I
I've
am
asked,
very
Our
and
I'm
when
the
viewer, I hate
most
you.
and when I've asked that
honest.
of her for many episodes in our previous reviews, so she's not biased. Um, speaking of bias, next to the stage is Gray Matter, and our last contestant for this episode is Gray Matter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
hear the Jeopardy music going.
Um, first of all, why you kind of
Literally, like
Robot Mikey.
stop. Am I
Can't
a furry?
chill.
Oh my god.
Oh my
like
God.
sorry, I thought we wanted honesty on this panel. Jesus.
And we do.
Think of our
Um,
viewer.
but yeah, what I will say about this is I think it's a little like simple. I think it could have been
Mhm.
taken a little bit further, but I do really like the exaggerated shape of the legs. I like the placement of the fur. I like the harness and the like bloody beard into the chest fur. The prosthetics are always on with Gray, like, and then the little detail of his head thing on the skull that he's got on his little staff. Great. Like I thought this was a job well done. It felt like a killer. It felt like, I mean, I don't really know Dead by Daylight, but like I'd be scared if I saw this thing running at me while I was trying to fix the generators or whatever.
No, so real. Um, I agree. I wish that there was like maybe some extra fur from the arm up to the shoulder to kind of close that in a bit, and then maybe the harness could still be there, but like it was kind of distressed or matted in because something happened. Um, I love the performance. I love Gray's attention to branding, not once, but twice. I did agree with the belays in regard to the fact that the weapon of choice was too short. It kind of felt
Yeah,
like if you're gonna hold it here, especially if you have claws and it's a shorthand weapon, you need to hold it from like the bottom of the base and go fwa. But if it's supposed to be a staff, it should be long.
yeah, he's holding it like it's a staff,
Yes.
Mhm.
and then it just kind of looks dinky.
Yeah, but other than that, I this look hits all borders for me. I could easily see it in Dead by Daylight. I can't remember this killer's name to save my life right now. I'm horrible. But this killer runs incredibly fast, and I can see it kind of moving in with that archetype.
Uh, um,
Oh, the blight.
Yeah, I could see it in Blight's archetype as a
yes.
skin.
Or also like a wraith skin, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, if it's
Especially
supposed
with
to be
like
a
the staff thing.
yes,
Like
I get that. Yeah.
Instead of bells, it's like a goat screaming noise.
or like a cow bell
A
type
cowbell.
beat.
A cowbell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I think this is a nice like concept. There are things I really like about this, and if I had to critique it, I think the weapon, like the staff, I agree that if you're gonna have it like that, don't hold it kind of halfway because it just looks a little awkward. I do love the little claws. The ears kind of look like the actual ears. I don't know about y'all. Looks a little cardboardy to me. Um, from
It looks
like the way the
like
light's hitting.
I
yeah,
think
it
it's just
looks
this
like they might
picture.
be made out of like vinyl or something, like because they're a little
Yeah.
shiny.
Yeah. I think it's the picture though that's like really making them.
Yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of JK. I'm like, hey
When
JK,
it
or
was
maybe you.
when it was in motion, I didn't they didn't bother
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's I think you're right, girlie. It's just because of the picture. Because if they have one of those like reflective
Hmm.
surfaces on top of the lights, it's just gonna shine off automatically.
Yeah, and it's probably just like some slick plastic or vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I'm not like wowed by it per se, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah. I think it's a little basic. Um, I don't really. I'm not like fully into the idea of it being something in Dead by Daylight. I wouldn't have chosen this. This would probably been I guess second. I guess. But like literally all three of the other people, I would have never chosen them as
I
this.
think yeah, I think Asia like far and away was the clear winner of this challenge. Like
Yeah, like the outfit itself is just kind of nothing. You're just wearing like literally nothing.
it's the
Um,
pants, the harness, and then these gloves and
yeah,
staff in terms of the outfit. And then obviously you have Gray's prosthetic work to
mhm.
supplement the whole thing, but like the outfit itself really is
Yeah,
pants.
yeah. It's fine. I'm not like obsessed, but I'm not like angry and upset with it. I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, it exists. You completed the challenge and move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think overall for me, it's a woo.
Yeah, it's like I guess woo.
Soft woo for me.
I will also give it a soft woo. All right, that's our top four. And from here, excuse me. Oh, I put in a random note. I was like, I love how Swan just couldn't say juxtaposition to save her life. Like I know they're camp, and looking back and I did like my marathon binge. I was like, oh, they've always been camp. It's just they haven't always shown it on screen. Like when they did a whole exercise program right into a wedding challenge, and one of the aerobic exercise movements was the stab, and I was like, period. Of course. Um, but the winner of the challenge is Asia Consent.
Oh my god, no way.
Wait, I thought
Do
it was
we
anti.
Bye.
do we agree?
Well done.
Sort of,
No.
sort of, kind
Well,
of.
yes. Those of us that aren't delusional,
That's
um,
crazy.
like I'm sorry you're like an obsessed fan, but those of us
I'm
in
not. I am not
reality,
obsessed at all.
right, right.
I'm not obsessed, but I would literally cry if I meet Yuri IRL.
Back here
Right.
on planet Earth, in reality, this was the clear winner. There was literally no other competition in the challenge.
Mhm.
So,
Very that, very that.
Speaking of reality, our bottom three was the remaining contestants.
Yeah. Well,
Basically, if
yes.
you weren't in the top, you were in the bottom. Asia was like, I'm gonna see you all at the back. And the extermination challenge was a really fun one. I hope they do this shit again and bring it back. But they had to play a Boule brother version of DBD, collecting blood point crystals while getting shot at by paintball guns. I was
I
like,
mean,
work.
When I like heard about the challenge, I'm like, oh my God, this is literally like my dream. This would be so fun. Like, it's. I think that'd be so fun. And then like I saw like the set design, and it's just like cardboard boxes and like little like wooden crate thingies.
literally, it gave
I'm
the
like,
Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow. Like,
Glasgow,
like
yes.
In
that.
Glasgow.
Glasgow. No, redacted.
Oh,
Um,
oh, she got accent.
she had something. Um, but oh no, I'd be down for this. I'd be like, Let's run it again." I'm sure if they had like an ample amount of time, it would have been far more elaborate. But I was here
I
for
mean,
it.
I
yeah,
mean,
I
they
think
knew the season challenge was coming.
They did, but it's not like Big Brother where they're like, "Oh, construct a competition in 24 hours." Period. Done.
I guess,
Um,
but they should have had a better plan. Like they can, they've got all the resources to fly them out to wherever the hell they went to do to jump in the water with
they
sharks.
literally flew them to Hawaii.
Like
Literally,
Uh,
I think you
like
can
goes on a mini vacay.
I think
Like,
you can afford some more interesting set dressing for the Dead by Daylight extermination.
I
oh,
I kind
Aurora.
I I kind of
Is that
I
clean?
I thought it would be amazing if it was revealed that the people like using the paintball guns were like the
For the
eliminated
eliminated girls.
contestants, because that could be our season's reunion. Because we learned this episode that they they didn't end up filming one. So
Well, and like in season 4, the clown car extermination had uh the eliminated girls like interfering and stuff.
In their
yeah.
clown geesh.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know. I think it's especially towards the end of the season, it's a fun way for the eliminated queens to not only be involved and get some more exposure and time, but also to let out a little bit of frustration on the girls that are still in the competition.
I
Like,
just im- I
Exactly.
just imagine Desiree Dick getting a paintball gun.
girl,
Or she
she
doesn't
would
shoot
have
it. She actually just throws it at Yuri.
she would have fucked Yuri up.
Um,
Literally.
I mean, I think it'd be really cool to see like the ones who went home early. Like, I think it'd be really cool for Scylla's fan to like see her again. Singular
I was
fan.
trying not to
Oh,
laugh.
you mean
That's
anti-heroine?
that's really rude to assume that she
Oh,
has at the end.
maybe in her apartment. I don't know.
So speaking of ceiling, um, so back in the cauldron, I think the only thing we kind of really get into is that Yuri and Auntie kind of have a tiff, a little moment, in regard to track record and wanting to be there. Yuri mentions that Auntie is constantly fucking complaining.
Ooh,
Which is
Um,
true.
to which Auntie rebuts, and I'm kind of, or actually to, yeah, where Auntie kind of rebuts that, like, I'm not snappy, I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you how it is. To where Gray also kind of defends Auntie a bit, not in public, at least from what we've seen, um, but defends Auntie in regard to like her just being able to vent, and Auntie herself says that she feels she doesn't owe anyone an explanation in that regard if she's just venting, just saying how it is. She's not trying to bring it down. She's just trying to be realistic.
Okay, but also you're on a TV show where you can be edited any single way the producers and editors want. So,
And like
true.
I think it's like, again, this has kind of been my mantra all night, but like two things can be true at once. Like
Mhm.
you can be telling it how it is and keeping it real, and also snappy and
And
blunt.
bringing the mood down. Like,
And well, there's a time and a place for being real. Like sometimes it's okay to be a little bit fake just to let the moment pass. If it, but I think there's some people that just don't feel that way, like Auntie, and they need to speak on it whenever they feel so inclined. And um, I think it's made for some interesting moments at least, but they don't always feel like, because it's kind of about anything. We don't really sympathize with Auntie about it anymore because
mhm.
we've seen her kind of do that. Like,
Yeah.
Well, then after that, and after the extermination is all said and done, our Ghoulie who just misses out on the final three is Yuri. But
what?
they send her home in the most camp way I've ever seen Dragula send a bitch home. Period. They said, "Oh, you can go." Starts playing like lovely native. I don't know if it's native music, like if the person was a Kiwi artist or not, but it's just very like calm music.
Oh,
Okay, I'm going home. Very vlog. Like very I'm
I
going home vlog.
that it gave copyright music,
It
to be
really did.
honest.
Yeah.
I don't recognize that unless there's a do like you see in like
Yeah.
love that
vlogs and
I
stuff on
remember
YouTube.
what the music was in that. How many times did you watch it?
No, I literally just predicted. I don't remember what the music was, but I literally loved this is by far my favorite, and not just because of how much I adore Yuri as a artist in person, but I adored this extermination. It was very different. I love that there were like nods to Drag Race with like going to the white van in like the Untucked at the end of the episode and packing up your stuff and saying bye to people and all of that. I thought it was really lovely. Um, and I think Yuri is quite a wholesome person. So having this kind of wholesome, sweet extermination is like, oh, the Boulets do really care about Yuri, which is lovely because sometimes Yuri doesn't believe in herself, which we've heard. So it's cute.
I have to say the the fucking clip art,
CGI.
the clip art explosion on that fucking plane absolutely sent me.
Like, please.
Like, I don't know.
And it was so quick.
And right
Maybe she
before
was.
she said, I got my whole life ahead of me.
I I feel so like is this confirming that she was like in the first Final Destination movie or what?
Mom.
Like give us the like I want someone to edit Yuri in that like opening scene of the first
Right.
Final Destination or like
Girl,
the plane.
stupid.
I think that'd be camp.
Well, speaking of tents, that leaves us with our final three. We have Anti, Asia, and Gray Matter for our final three. And just to remind the girlies here and the ghoulies, these are the track records for our final three. We have Auntie with 2 wins, and she has been on the bottom the most. Um, Gray with 2 wins and 2 bottoms, and then Asia with 3 wins and only being in the bottom once.
Yeah.
I think it goes from like from left to right, like least likely to win to most likely.
Mm.
Um, Auntie's edit hasn't been the best. I think Grey Matter has a really good shot. Asia, the one time Asia was in the bottom, they were like, "Yeah, give me that tattoo. Like, I want to experience this." And also having the most wins, I think, really has like her a leg up, I guess, in the finale.
It really feels like it's Asia's to lose at this point, but I think if Asia were to completely flop and Gray does stellar in the finale, I could see them giving it to Gray. Like I
Yeah.
think I think Gray is has made a really strong case for themselves as a like um as a creature performer and also as a drag artist. Like I think they're a very unique individual and unique artist that fits really well into the Dragula brand just as well as Asia does. And I don't know. I think it was a meme to root for Gray Matter at the beginning because he just he looked like me and we were like, oh, that's Mikey. But Gray for me has really turned into somebody that I love to root for. And
Yeah.
as much as I think it's mostly a foregone conclusion for Asia at this point, like I don't know.
Yeah. I think Gray has been kind of the sleeper, like the one that we thought from the beginning was going to be really good. And then we were like, oh, never mind. And then they just came back and was just pedal down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's go, bitch. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'd say heading into the finale, it's clear who the like front runner is.
And just
Who
so
did
you
we?
oh,
Oh,
go ahead.
who did we pick for our?
Oh, I was just about to get into that. Look at you telling the
Oh, she said
future.
I've been prepared or
I
I
know
whatever.
I'm
did.
wrong.
So for mine, I at least have two people in, and I think that's the same consensus for everybody. I had Yuri, Majesty, Gray Matter, and Asia, so I at least have two people in the final.
Well, technically, Yuri made
You
Final
have,
Four.
yeah, you have three of the top four.
That's true.
Mhm.
I have three at the top four.
And I also
Mikey,
had Majesty. Ugh,
we
why
had
He
the
has
did,
the same
exact same.
exact.
why did Majesty do that for her promo shot? I'm still not over it. It's so ugly.
Um, and then Mac basically also has the same, with the exception of Vivi flipped.
Vivi, I said this like in the episodes, but like I love their promo and I love like hearing about Vivi like pre-season. I'm like, oh, Vivi's gonna be a force this season. Literally their name. Turns into the most like filler contestant we had all season, like with so much
Yeah,
peace and love. They did not have the best showing on this particular season, and I would love to see them grow a little bit more and then come back per se. But
And then Morgan only chose three. It's the only bitch that
oh,
gave me three.
oh, so
Cause
I
she,
was the most correct because I got all three of my
anyway,
picks in the top four.
so we all at
anyway,
least have Asia and Gray in the final.
But we
Who's
also
100%
into
tea?
heroin short.
We really
Whoa!
did. No, we did. No, let's give it a whole back. You said it was said that Auntie's look promo look was quote unquote basic.
It
Well,
We
was.
were
but
unsure of it.
And here we are. And they're not a contender to any of us.
Listen, and what I will say to that, I still love a bitch that can prove me wrong, and I have no idea what she's gonna do. So
Good
work for
luck,
that.
I'm
sweetheart.
I'm excited to see what the final three are gonna bring because the finale is always like this is it. Like this is where you need to bring your A game. And I personally love the horror category. Some of these people will love the glamour category, and then there's filth as well.
I'm scared for Phil. I'm scared.
Ooh,
That's
what are
something I
they gonna
always hate.
do?
Like, and not hate because I'm always like, ooh, this is like, it's really getting under my skin, which is the point. But like, I hate that feeling. I don't like watching, but I have to.
You have to from a panel standpoint. Uh,
I'm obligated contractually.
yes. Well, that is all for tonight's episode. We will see you for the finale.
Next
Present,
week.
present dreams, uglies. Bye.